Marvin says he will explain it all to me as we go along. Let's start.
Council Member, Agency Director, Authority Member Johnson. Present. Mann.
Present.
Smith. Vice Mayor, Vice Chair Christ.
Present.
Mayor Chair Paris.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, move to excuse Ron Smith.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, the invocation will be with Pastor Arnwine at Prevailing World Christian Center. Did I get the name right? Is he here? You don't show up for the prayer? Mm-hmm. Do I have a volunteer?
Not under our policy, no.
I can't have a volunteer under our policy?
No.
No.
So, okay. You want to do the prayer? Hey, it comes between a policy and praying. Which way you think I'm going to go?
Dear God, thank you for the opportunity for this meeting here of the City Council of Lancaster, California. We thank you for all our blessings in this great country, and we honor the Constitution of the United States, and we thank you again for this great day and this great meeting in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Want to do the pledge?
Sure. Everyone, please, your right hand over your heart. And begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm thinking we just do the mobile home park for now. And do the roads and stuff afterwards. Get rid of the
Okay. Or let the fire department and sheriff's get out of here.
Okay, why don't you do that?
Okay. The streets of Lancaster. What is the... Okay, we're going to do the streets of Lancaster. At our last meeting, Gerald, could you come up here, please? Pat, could you come up? We had a challenge between the fire department and the sheriff's department, and in that challenge was the winner and the loser would both be here, which they are. So we have to congratulate both of them. It's the first time the fire department showed up because they won. So, Pat, I'm going to let you say a few words.
Well, as I agreed to, apparently, I wasn't there for that, but I am here tonight in order to award the trophy to the winners of the Streets of Lancaster Guns and Hoses Challenge, and that would be the fire department. So I'll let you give it to them. Very well. It is, isn't it? Congratulations.
Yay.
Can we get the fire department down here?
Your team got a lot bigger.
Well, they're all local guys, too.
Yeah.
all these guys race?
At heart. Gerald, tilt your head.
Get it?
And Gerald's going to say a few words for us.
Good job, guys.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good job.
The Los Angeles County Fire Department and the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department have had a long but friendly rivalry. And behind this rivalry, there's jabs that go back and forth between agencies, and it's good humor. We just had not had that opportunity to have to win this event in the last 3 years. So it's very, very satisfying that we got the award. As our two agencies are very competitive with each other, we just happen to be the winning team, and against a very formidable second place team. So I want to thank the sheriffs for. Actually, I want to thank the city of Lancaster for bringing this on. This is a very good event, very worthwhile, and it's a great bonding for our two agencies as well as the city. So thank you very much.
So I'm going to ask a couple sheriffs to come down here so we can get a group picture. Come on down. All of them?
The walk of shame.
Sheriffs and fire, we all have something in common. We all want to be firemen.
Good? All right, thank you. Thank you. Good job.
Thanks. Thank you. We did this first so the fire department could get back to their lounge chairs. Do we have anybody out there?
Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks. 911. I'm going to turn the rest of it over to Rhonda. Rhonda?
Thanks, Marvin. We're really lucky. This has really grown into a wonderful community event, and the rivalry doesn't stop between guns and hoses. It also goes on between many entrepreneurs that sponsor this race and really make this happen. The community, or the city rather, would not be able to make this event happen without the support of the community. So representing the Boulevard Associates in the winter between all of the Boulevard businesses throughout the downtown area is Tim McBride from Boulevard Cinemas. Please give him a round of applause.
Thank you.
The winner of the mayor's race this year, I'm pleased to announce, is Kenny Traciano representing RE/MAX All-Pro. And representing Edelman Broadcasting is Colleen Wardlaw, who took it all. Colleen represents Edelman, and their driver took it all this year for the Boulevard Champs, so they get the big helmet.
Got to hold it from the bottom. You're from broadcasting. I see you have notes you want to talk.
I do want to talk. Actually, Edelman Broadcasting really thanks our driver, Alan Bryan of Precision Car Star, who was the champion. We did win. And we also thank the City of Lancaster for the opportunities to partner in making this city a thriving place for everybody to live in. Thank you very much.
My son, who couldn't be here tonight, asked me to say thank you very much. He'd never had the opportunity to race a go-kart before, and it was an incredible adrenaline rush for him. Thank you.
Yeah, we all did. Okay, now we can go into it. Let's just do it.
Do you need some help?
Yeah, come on down. Youth and government? Did we bring everybody today? Okay, ladies first. Let's start with Miss Black Antelope Valley pageant winners. Why don't we all come up and... Okay, we have Brianna Johnson. We should start with go up, right? Yeah, okay. Let's start with Little Miss Black Antelope Valley, Harmony Crossland. I think I know who that is. Oh, look, let's get that. That is perfect. Who taught you to do that? Okay. Here we go, Harmony. Let's get a picture. You put that on Facebook, okay? No, I want to do Simone. Okay. And we have Simone Zulu. I'm sorry, what? Say it again. Okay, you're going to just take it for her. Okay. Nobody will know. Keep this just between us, okay? Thank you. Okay, now, you have got to help me with this. How do I say that? Akube. Obaze, right? And you're junior Miss Black AV. How old are you? 12. Wow. Congratulations. Huh? Didn't I get a picture? Come on. Let's get a picture. Come on. Come on. I'm not going to bite. All those stories you hear about me, they're just stories. Thanks. Okay, Brianna. Now we have Brianna Johnson. Step on out. We'll do this. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Brianna.
Thank you.
So how old are you?
14.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you. Okay, so we'll do one. We got all of it? All right. Thank you, guys. Okay. We do these guys first? I'll start opening this. So, help me out here. Did they win or not? I need some help here. I thought you were going to help me with this. Good. Call the coach and the team up and the coach will help with this. All right. I need somebody to explain this. Okay. I know we won something really, really big, but I'm not clear what we won. So if we have the coach come up.
Yeah, if we can invite the coach and the team to come up, please.
Oh, wow. to the crowd your accomplishment. Come on, go around. First of all, I want to know who named this team.
Mike Vargas.
This is the Southern California Terror.
We started this team over 4 years ago. The dream was to go to Cooperstown, New York. You can only go there when you're 12 years old. 104 teams from all over the United States and Canada were there to compete. And we took second. We won 10 games back-to-back, and we got defeated in the championship game 6-4. So big accomplishment for the team.
They're the runner-up in the nation. Of the entire nation. Of course they are. It's Lancaster. Okay, we got certificates for you.
I'm going to let the coach call the names out.
Okay, good.
If you'll call them out and then hand it to the mayor.
Joey Estes.
What do you play?
Pitcher and pitcher.
You're the pitcher. This is the guy.
Josh Addington.
What do you play?
Center field.
Played first?
Center field.
Center field. Okay. What did it feel like to win? Really good.
Matthew Hong.
Outfield.
You don't get the certificate if you don't shake hands. Thanks.
Brady Butler. Ethan Rosario.
Left field? Thank you.
Bryce Spicy Dixon.
Your family?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Kobe Roberts. Bryce Chicken Wygant.
Thanks, Brett.
Corbin Barker.
Oh, sorry, Corbin, I was fixing my mic. Thank you.
Matt Chavez.
Thanks, man.
Walker Fleming.
Shortstop? Good. Congratulations.
Nate Hernandez.
You play. What?
Catcher.
Okay, great. Thanks. Go ahead and do it.
Okay. 4 years was a lot of hard work for me and the kids, but Team Mom's what really held it together. So big round of applause for her, Heather Wygant. They're not, no.
Okay, Heather, you got your speech ready?
Thank you so much.
Right.
Thanks. What? Brad,
Thank you.
congratulations. You had to work your... Yeah. Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
Can we get the guys down? That was incredible. I mean, really incredible. What?
Can we get the parents down to take pictures?
Oh, did they have something to do with this? Okay.
Financially,
Come on down.
John, in the picture. Let's go. Let's go. Got other stuff to take care of.
No, not really.
Look at him. We can wait on him.
Hey, you killed a kid under there, Mark. No, if you're going to be up here, you got to smile. You know, it's a rule.
We're going to get out of everybody's way so we get the picture. The city picture first. We'll look up.
One of these yours? Congratulations.
Right here.
Great. Thank you. Oh. Hey, this is the real one. This is for Facebook. Thanks. Thank you. Okay, good.
Congratulations.
Just real quick on the stats for the kids batting and pitching, I just want to go over two. One of the kids batting, his batting average was .686. He had 11 home runs, 24 RBIs, really outstanding batting. Nathan Hernandez.
Hey, you're the man.
Corbin Barker also hit 8 home runs. Joey Estes with 9 home runs. Josh Addington with 2. Spicy with 5. Chicken with 2. Walker Fleming with 7. And total, I think we hit 48 home runs in the consecutive games. Yeah, we had one grand slam where the dad bet the son he couldn't hit the scoreboard, which he did. It cost him $500. That would be Joey Estes. Pitching, we had 2 pitchers that really carried the whole game. The first one, that outstanding, phenomenal, everybody was afraid of, was Joey Estes. He pitched 9 games, 25 innings, 59 strikeouts, only 5 hits allowed. He gave up 8 walks, and Corbin Barker was the other one. He pitched 6 games, 20 innings, 24 strikeouts, 20 hits allowed, 13 walks. Only 6 runs earned off of him. Like I said, once again, the kids really did an outstanding job. And Council, Mayor, thank you for having us here.
Sorry, I got distracted. You know, this is a night of champions. We have Sean McElroy. Sean is a sophomore at Quartz Hill High School who has been cycling for more than 4 years. Won a total of 7 national titles in road racing, time trials, and BMX. Where is he?
Right there.
Come on, go. He's a sophomore. Somebody's feeding you right.
Yeah.
He recently traveled to Belgium over the summer for 3 weeks competing in the USA Cycling Junior Competition for 15 through 16-year-olds. While in Belgium, Sean competed in 8 races while capturing 2 first-place finishes. Wait a minute, you didn't do any of those steroid stuff yet. Sean competed in the Junior National Road Racing Championships, is focusing on road racing, including events up to 104 miles. Following high school, Sean would like to become a professional cyclist and compete in the Tour de France. Wow. That is really cool. Sean volunteers his time with his mentor, Rich Bartlett. Rich, stand up. Helping young cyclists in the community by developing bike handling skills. We are incredibly proud of you, Sean.
Thank you.
So we have this for you. We also have a $1,000 scholarship for you. And Seriously, are we a city of champions or what? I mean, look at this. Wait a minute. Good? Okay, thanks, Sean. Thanks. Thanks. Okay.
I guess you were signaling that you're going to run for re-election out there? I saw you out there kissing babies.
I know that baby. What are you talking about? That's April's baby.
She's a cute
Look at
baby.
her. She is beautiful.
She's adorable.
She was a gift, wasn't she? Unexpected. Sent down from heaven. Okay. All right. Why are we feedbacking? You good?
Thank you, both of them.
All right, let me get rid of this one, and then we won't have that buzz. All right, let's get to work.
Do you want to give them a minute to clear the room for the presentation?
Yeah, you want to take 5 minutes while we clear the room? I mean, not clear the room, but with my abstention. Any items on the consent calendar to be removed?
No, sir. Motion to approve the consent calendar is currently comprised.
I'll second that.
Let's vote. It's unanimous. What?
I see CR1. CR.
Okay.
You better call her.
All right. Maria Pisano? CC4?
Sorry, I gotta put these on. Since I'm in the mood today, a little on the upset side, something that's been upsetting me for a long time is these the sanitary sewer construction completed by the developer. And of course, I just have to say something about this. These constructed new sewage. Who's paying for all these is what I'd like to know. We had a lot of problems with KB Homes, and there was a lot of contamination as far as that goes with those homes, and a lot of the sewer systems were redone, and a lot of that I think came out of our taxes and things like that, I'm sure. I mean, I'm just wondering who paid for that and who's still paying for all these sewer completions, and if they are approved, exactly, if they are being approved to be done right, or that they aren't contaminated anymore. These are just some of the issues I've had for a long time, and I've come here and spoke on it a few times, but I usually get cut off with them. So I just wanted to state that, I do have concerns about that, because, a lot there later, that company was actually winning awards and things for their home building when they were found to be contaminated. So that's just something I just wanted to bring up.
Thank you.
Motion to approve CC4.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passes. Unanimous. Okay, let's go to new business item number 1. Wait a minute, I don't want to do that. I want to skip ahead. Which one is it?
You're right, NB1.
Is it NB1? No, that's not the one I want. It's Lancaster School District.
You want to go to the
Those are
non-agendized.
Oh, the park is non-agendized.
They're all non-agendized.
All right, let's take out of order. We'll go to the non-agendized items in what we're primarily going to deal with is the mobile home park. So, where's Cesar? Cesar, you're in charge. Come on down for a second. What I want you to do is I want you to announce the speakers. I want you to speak first, let everybody know what you're talking about, and then we'll deal with it as we go along. All right? But you're in charge.
Those are,
Is that all of them?
some of those aren't his.
Oh, Cesar, come back. Cesar's going to be mayor someday, so I thought I'd get him started now. No, not soon.
Would you like to speak longer and speak for everybody? And those are the ones that we were as a group. So if you'd like to look through these and tell me if all of these are yours.
Keep it to 1 minute. One. Okay. Okay, what I don't want to do is be here for 3 hours. Okay, because I'm going to fix this. Okay, I'm doing sure. All right. Good.
These are not.
Now, Cesar, I want you to know this is the first time this has ever been done this way. I don't know if you know this, but it's really hard for me to give up power.
I've been told. Can I start? Well, Mayor Paris, Council, last time I spoke to you and I had the honor of addressing the Council, it was because we were working together to send a message to the residents of Lancaster, especially people like myself who are undocumented and people like my mother who are residents of this country but were born elsewhere and are immigrants and work very hard to make a living and live honest and decent lives here in Lancaster. We wanted to let them know that the old politics weren't the case anymore and that the city of Lancaster was for everyone who wanted a place to live and would work hard to make their community a better place. What we found recently is that while that has been true from this council, we have seen dramatic changes in the community who is now willing to speak openly and live more openly. And there has been a lot of that fear reduced. But we found that there are still places in the city where that is not true. Betty, who's here today, organized a meeting and invited myself and my friend Christopher Galliano to speak. Berta is proper name. They invited us to speak to a group of tenants who were having issues at this mobile home park, ranging from, as you know now, the issue of the water in the wells to issues of intimidation of tenants who were organizing themselves to address these issues in the proper way. So we are here to support them today, but they do have their own concerns and their own experience that they would like to present to the council. We also have allies here from outside the city of Lancaster who are affiliated with us through the Antelope Valley Dream Team, who will be monitoring the issue and also assisting the tenants any way we can. But we do want to stress that we are here to support the tenants. The tenants have done all the work of documenting what they would like to present to you. They have done all the work of organizing amongst themselves. So this is really their struggle and their voices that today you're going to hear. So thank you. The first person who wanted to speak is Maria Molina.
Mi nombre es María Molina.
My name is Maria Molina.
Yo nomás estoy aquí porque quiero que nos ayuden. Somos dos personas, yo y mi esposo. No trabajamos los 7 días de la semana, no estamos en casa, los biles salen muy altos y no es bueno.
I'm here today to speak on the issue we're having regarding the bills are too high. She's talking about the utilities council. Her husband and her both work 7 days a week, every single day, to provide for their family. And even with that, and because of the regular charging that the tenants allege is happening, she can't pay her rent.
Y no estamos en casa, venimos hasta... Hay días que no vengo a mi casa, no echo agua, nada, por lo mismo, porque hay mucho problema, que no tenemos agua. Son muchos problemas y yo pienso que necesito que nos ayuden, porque es un parque de bajos recursos y necesitamos. Trabajamos, no venimos a pedirle a la ciudad, al gobierno aquí, nosotros estamos trabajando legal y necesitamos ayuda.
There are days when her and her husband do not come home because they are working, and they come home to a house that doesn't have water, and that they have not purchased or reserved the water. This is the situation that they come from, and they're speaking to you about it. They need help. She said that she's not here to ask for money. She's not here to ask for a handout. She wants justice done, and she wants what's right for her and her husband and her family to be done.
El gas, la luz, muy heavy, muy alto, es mucho. No paso en casa. A 90 de gas, en veces 40, es injusto porque no paso en casa.
There are days when she is not home, and even then, during those times when she is not regularly at home, her gas bill fluctuates from $40 to $90. And she doesn't see a reason for this to be happening when she's not at home using the utility.
Y espero Paris happy, please. Thank you very much. Okay?
Thank you.
The next person who wants to speak is Berta.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council members, for allowing us to be here. I was here last time on August 26th at the Mayor and City Council member meeting. My name is Berta Suarez. I was here last time and I spoke about the frequent water shutoffs and the dirty water we get from our very faulty water well system that continually breaks down despite the minimal patchwork repairs that continue to be made. Although since I spoke with you, the water has not been shut off, which is surprising because if I wouldn't have spoken with you, it would have continued to shut off. So thankfully it has not shut off, but we wish we could get public water because we've had frequent water shutoffs year after year after year. And there is a special needs kid with epilepsy that lives in that park that had convulsions the last time the water was shut off. He had convulsions 2 times this year when the water was shut off. He had convulsions last year. The resident, her mother named Lourdes, already gave her testimony to the deputy. So the deputy has a report of it, and she's willing to speak up about it because she feels very sad for her son. The reason why there's a lot of commotion and there's movement from the residents today, because we just received 7-day notices and 14-day notices to the main residents that are involved with the issues at the park. The 7-day notices state that we need to do tedious, exaggerated, and very costly repairs to the exterior structures of our mobile homes in 7 short days. Otherwise, by the 3rd notice, they can kick us out. And the words of the manager, Annabelle, of the park were, and this is the first notice. When we give you the 3rd one, we don't have to tell you nothing and we can get you out of here. And the 14-day notices they gave us is saying that they're going to charge us $500 for maintenance and cleanup if we don't clean our yard. It's fine to ask us to clean our yard. We don't have no problem with that. How come they put the most difficult stuff for the 7 days and the easiest stuff for the 14 days? What if we don't have $500 to pay for the cleanup, or they're not going to accept our rent payment and they're going to try to kick us out? That is why we are here. And the first ones to receive those 7 and 14-day notices was not everybody. Funny, it was the main people, the main residents involved with these water issues and problems. And there's other problems. There's other problems besides the water issue. There's no amenities available.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry if I spoke. Thank you
okay.
very much.
Okay.
And again, we are here because Betty took the time to organize these tenants. She was has been the key voice, I think, in getting this together. El señor José Santos wanted to speak.
Okay, mi nombre es José Santos.
My name is José Santos.
Ya tengo viviendo ahí 6 años.
I've been living in this park for 6 years.
Y ya he tratado de respetar todas las reglas que se piden.
I've tried very hard to abide by all the rules and regulations of the park.
Pero me llegó una nota que tenía que pagar un dinero de edad y arreglar muchas cosas ahí cuando yo soy un ejemplo en ese lado que me toca.
I've been asked to make these same repairs and maintenance to the facilities, even though I am one of the most exemplary members of this community on this side of the trailer park.
Y nomás lo que yo pido y mi familia es que nos ayuden, porque en verdad hay muchos problemas de fuga de gas y nunca han arreglado eso.
What I'm asking here today is for help because there have been other issues, including gas leaks, that have yet to be fixed and that may continue to be an issue.
Y la razón por qué digo esto es porque yo ayudé unos 4 años atrás a un manager en esa localidad.
I am mentioning this again because he has first-hand knowledge. He assisted the former manager around 4 years ago in the maintenance of the property.
So, corremos el riesgo de que nuestros niños y uno al mismo tiempo, pues explotemos un día.
We run the risk that there might be a serious accident for ourselves and our children, including an explosion.
Y también pedimos que los niños tengan un parque de recreación ahí porque no tenemos nada de eso.
Additionally, Mayor Paris and Council, the park facilities have been closed to the children, and the children have been told that they can't play outside. They're asking for help because even those amenities are now gone.
Why can't they play outside?
Porque el espacio es muy pequeño y también porque han quitado el parque de recreación que había antes.
There used to be a recreational facility on the property that the children can usually play, but that's been removed. Additionally, the paved areas of the park where people can walk and play across are too small with the addition of people's parked cars.
Yeah, and I don't think he was saying that the kids can't play outside. He was saying that he's requesting for a facility for the children to play in. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Y también necesitamos que haya un manager responsable de que esté ahí, porque en verdad hay veces que ocupamos ayuda de ellos y no hay nadie.
We're asking for a manager that is there, that has a more significant presence at the park, because there are times where the residents need him and there's no one to fix these issues and others.
Y también necesitamos seguridad como un security, porque en verdad no hay nada.
There's also concerns from the tenants that there's no security at the park. They have fears about their security of person and property.
Y también nomás tenemos una entrada para entrar al proyecto de trailers, pero no tenemos otra para poder de emergencia salir en caso de un incendio, como ha ocurrido antes.
There's been a fire in the past, Mayor Paris, and despite this, there's only one exit or entrance to the park that is narrow. There's no other way in case of emergency that tenants could leave the property.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Juana Valeria. Señora Juana? Juana had to leave for work. She did mention that earlier. I'm sorry. Elvia?
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Elvia.
Good afternoon, my name is Elvia.
Vivo en Desert Palm.
I live in Desert Palms.
Y por el motivo que yo vengo, le doy gracias a Dios y a las personas que están aquí presentes, que hace tiempo intentamos esto que estamos haciendo, pero llegamos con las personas equivocadas, y creo yo que Dios nos ha puesto ángeles en nuestro camino porque estamos siendo escuchados.
I give thanks to God for the motivation that bring me here and the people who are supporting us, because we've come here before maybe with the wrong support, but God has put people in our path now and we feel like we're being heard.
Por lo siguiente que yo vengo es por el problema del agua.
I come here to talk about the issue of the water on the park.
Nos quitan el agua, nos quedamos hace unos años atrás, como en el 2009, 2010, nos quedamos sin agua por 3 días.
There were frequent water shutoffs, and at one point in 2009, the water was shut off for 3 days.
No teníamos para hacer nuestras necesidades, no teníamos para bañarnos.
When?
She said,
Apenas, o sea, no tiene mucho que nos... como en el 2009 nos quitaron el agua.
In 2009 was when the water was shut off for 3 whole days.
Hicimos una reunión, nos juntamos todos. Mucha gente no vino por miedo. Pero ya basta, o sea, no debemos de tener miedo porque tenemos nuestras necesidades. No tenemos agua para bañarnos, no tenemos agua para cocinar. En tiempo de calor es cuando más nos las quitan. Nos bañamos y la tierra se nos queda en la cabeza.
At one point in 2009, the tenants did try to gather together to talk about the issue, but many people were frightened. But there's no reason to be frightened when what they're asking for are their basic necessities. There's no water to bathe, there's no water to cook with, and in the summer, this is when the water shut off the most, and that is when they need it the most.
Cuando de repente llega a llegar el agua, llega con mucha tierra, ahí es donde se descomponen nuestros baños, las llaves de la cocina, del baño. Nos bañamos y nos llega con mucha tierra, se descomponen los aires y ahí tenemos niños especiales. Nos cierran la alberca, los niños quieren jugar, los niños quieren nadar y las personas que están a cargo frustran su niñez.
When the pipes or the pump is turned back on and there's water again, it's full of sediment. This sediment has ruined the tenants' showers and bathrooms. It's ruined the washing machines that the tenants own. They feel the rough texture of the water when they bathe and when they use it.
I want to see the bottle of water again. Who's got it?
Okay.
2009, though.
I know, but
The deputy mayor took it at the last meeting.
No, we got another one. This is the most recent one.
Este es el agua con la que nos bañamos en el shower.
This is water that we used to bathe.
¿Cuándo fue que usted usó esa agua?
Esta apenas salió de ahorita.
Cuando se...
¿Hoy día?
Ya.
Okay, gracias. That's today.
Sí,
Today.
Con esta agua nos bañamos, con esta agua nos dijeron que la podíamos servir y la podíamos tomar.
They told us that we can bathe with this water, that we can serve it and drink this water, and that we can, we can drink this water, yes. That this water is potable.
Where did you get that water from?
¿Dónde salió el agua, señor?
De las llaves sale. Del
This is the
toilet.
cistern that sits above the toilet, but the tenants do have photographs that show that this same water leaves marks from the taps, and this is the residue that's left over also from the floor.
So this didn't come out of the taps?
No, it
¿No salió de las
did.
grifas?
No,
¿Eso fue del baño o de la cocina o dónde?
esto sale del...
Del container donde está el toilet,
Sí.
donde recibe el agua, ahí está, pero sale así el agua toda hasta de la regadera.
Okay, pero no sacaron agua de uno de los faucets.
De la regadera.
Okay. Okay, gracias.
Y pues... Y esperamos pues de verdad, o sea, que nos ayuden y que no vayan a tomar represalias porque hay mucha gente que quiere venir pero no viene. Yo era una de esas, porque nos quieren correr de ahí.
But I thought the landlord was getting a new pump. Is that right?
El landlord dijo que iba a arreglar y iba a poner un pump nuevo, ¿no es verdad? Es the same. It's the same pump. Entonces nunca fue a arreglar nada.
No.
Nunca.
No.
He never went and fixed anything.
No,
It breaks and they cover it.
My understanding is that it's in the process of being fixed, that a new pump is being installed. Is that correct?
But it's the same thing. They keep saying that they're going to install a new pump over and over again, year after year. Same thing. They install a new pump. That's their excuse.
No, I understand your frustration. I'm sitting here looking at something in 2010 where they told you to boil your water. I mean, this is not something that just came up overnight. I mean, you've been dealing with it for years. But what I want to be clear on is it being fixed now? Mark?
There hasn't been a recent water shut-off, but it's a matter of time till it breaks down again, as it has broken down the past few years, the past several years. And the water's coming out of time. That's why we want good water.
Well, I'm not able to give you public water. I wish I could, but I'm not able to do that. I don't have the power to do that. All right? But we do have the power to enforce the law, and you're entitled to good water. That's just what the law is. And I'm a little concerned. I mean, I can have all of you speak, but I think I've got it. All right? I think I understand what's happening. Now, my concern, we're going to let the park people speak, but when you get up and speak, I want to know, why are you giving 7 and 14-day notices now in the middle of this? I don't care what your motives are. Well, look at the appearance of it. I mean, it looks retaliatory. When you should be conciliatory, it looks retaliatory. And you're in the wrong city to do that. And if that is the case, you better have an explanation for it when you get up here. Allison.
Yep.
If these folks have been without potable water for 1 day, they should be compensated for that. I want us to figure out how many days these folks went without what the law required them to have. And then the park management can come to some accommodation for the past wrongs, or I want you to get a hold of Neighborhood Legal Aid?
Neighborhood Legal Services?
And ask them to come in and file a lawsuit. All right? I do not want the citizens of this city having to take baths in that. All right?
Me neither.
I mean, I appreciate the fact that they're fixing it. But that doesn't fix what happened in the past. That has to be fixed. Okay? And then I want completion dates. And then the other thing is I'd like Jocelyn to look at every one of those 7 and 14-day notices and see, are they messing with these folks, or is this something that's legitimate? I suspect the timing of it is just far too suspicious for any of us to say that it's okay. They are not wrong in wanting to have drinkable water. They are not wrong in wanting the water to be on when they come home. Also, if there's some, I'd like code enforcement to check on that gas thing. If there's gas leaks, let's find out about it now, not when it's too late, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, have I covered everything, Cesar?
There's a few more issues, Mayor Paris. The biggest one, that besides the water and the issue of security, including the gas leaks on the property, it's also the utility bills seem to be very erratic, and there seems to be no logic for the pricing from one month to the next. One of the residents showed me a bill that was up for $200. And there are people who...
Yeah, but the park owner is not responsible for that. That's Edison and Southern California Gas, right?
Park residents don't pay the Edison.
We can ask the utilities to go out and do an audit.
There was an inspector from LA County Weights and Measures that confirmed irregularity with the electricity and gas meters.
Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm asking our city attorney to help you to figure out, give me a spreadsheet, give me the dates, give me everything that has occurred, and let's try to make this right, all right? It also requires you to cooperate with the management. Right now, you guys are fighting with each other. Okay. Okay. All right. And if we need to bring in a mediator, let's bring in a mediator. But I don't want to be here a month from now. All right? All right. What I'd like to do, Cesar, I'd like to hear from the management now.
Sure.
All right? And I mean that about the mediator. Get a mediator involved in this. We've got these volunteer mediators that want to do this sort of thing. Let's put them in the middle of it so that there's a go-between until they start communicating and I would like a report on it. I want to know if these people are being harassed. And if there's any threats being made, I want to know about it. All right? I mean, I want you to pick up the cell phone and call me. I want to know about it. All right? Okay. I think that covers it, doesn't it?
I think so, Mayor Paris. I just, for my part, want to underline that these are folks just like myself who come from hardworking immigrant backgrounds. They deserve a correct shake. And I
can't hear you. I'm deaf.
Oh, sorry. I think what these folk are asking for is, like you mentioned, very basic, and they have a right to the water, and they also have a right to not be intimidated. I myself...
I think they got more rights than that. If they went days without water being turned on, they got rights. They should be compensated for that.
And I just want to make sure that the council is also aware that we will be monitoring the issue, and we will bring it to the attention if we do see reprisals.
Okay, I prefer not to take up the entire council's time. That's why I'm going to have a mediator. The mediator will report to me. You got my cell phone number. You can call me. All right. This should start getting better in the next week or two. And if it doesn't, we'll take the next step. No, we're not going to deal with that now. Okay, we're going to put the procedure in place to deal with it. We're going to forgive everything that happened in the past, and we're going to get along, right? And we're going to fix this. Where's the management? Okay, we got it? You understand what I want? You don't have a choice here. You understand that. You do not have a choice in this city. We will not tolerate this in our city. Now, I'm not saying everything's true, but I don't want any question about how serious this is going to get. Are we clear? Yes. All right. Do you still want to talk to me? Okay, come on down. Thanks, Cesar.
Thank you, Council President.
I'm Annabelle Gutierrez, I'm Regional Manager.
I'm Karen Burgess. I'm Assistant Property Manager.
Mr. Mayor and City Council members, Ms. Suarez and others brought up a few disturbing allegations, and we are here to present our side of the story. With regards to high bills, the park has had weights and measures out. In each case, our meter and billing have been found to be in compliance. All of our meters are state certified.
We have the recent from Weights and Measures that was recently out that said that they found no problems with either billing or compliance at all.
What's the date?
9, may I present it?
Just, if you could just read us the date.
October 9th,
2014.
Thank you.
Solar panels were also mentioned. These are not owned by the park and have nothing to do with the residents' electric bills. The land is leased to another company. And regarding our amenities, the pool has been closed for the winter like it is every year due to the colder weather. A clubhouse has never been advertised, nor was it ever mentioned in any form as an individual amenity. The playground was removed several years ago due to vandalism by teenagers at hours of the night. Due to liability issues, our insurance requested that we dismantle the playground, and again, has never been advertised as being available. Rental agreements reflect this, as do the mobile home disclosures. A copy can be emailed upon request. We would like to address notices. At no time have we retaliated. As homeowners, it is the residents' responsibility to maintain their homes. City code enforcement performs inspections. This is no different. There are certain standards that need to be adhered to. In no way are we singling out certain residents. As was stated earlier, we have written up each and every resident for rules and regulation violations. We would be remiss in not writing up residents. We as managers are responsible for enforcing the rules within the park. And we have copies
Space 9
of all notices that were issued.
All right, what I want to see a graph of those notices, and I want to see if there's any spikes. All right?
They're done once a year in mass. We can show you from what we did last year, and then we do spot inspection as needed or complaints by other residents.
I just want to see if there's any irregularities and spikes, and when they were. If there's, you know what I'm asking, Allison. You know what I'm asking
I can email you what you need.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I know exactly what you're asking for.
Thank you.
When's the last time you gave a 7 to 10 day notice, approximately? Approximately. When's the last time you gave a 7 to 10 day?
And then prior to that, 6 months ago.
Okay.
And then prior to that, a smaller bunch, probably about a year ago.
That's it right there.
Okay, well, let me ask you something.
When they were very bad.
Let me ask you something. Doesn't it seem to you that when you have this number of people in a park that you're managing, this upset, that something's not right? Don't you feel that? Don't you get that?
But from Ms. Suarez's own words, we want the park to look better. It starts with everybody.
Well, I think it has to start with the water, doesn't it?
If we may, we have from the water district, the most recent ones.
Wait a minute. You've already told the city staff that you're fixing the pump, right?
Yes, we installed a water meter to check flow recently. Our technician could not be here. He can be on speaker, or you can contact him at any time. I know that Mr. Southworth has been in contact with him regarding this.
Was the pump bad?
This is the most recent biological
Wait a minute. Was the pump broke or not?
I'm sorry?
No, the second pump was just as a backup.
So what was the water problem? Are you saying they made it up?
We're saying that our documentation shows that there's no problem with the water.
Well, guess what? I've been a lawyer for a long time. I would win this case. You know, there isn't any doubt I would win this case. Mark, tell me about the water.
Okay, just put that away. The report we've had, and we tried to do it by memory, we did it to verify with a third party, not with the park owner, was that the pump has been replaced. They are working on a secondary water system and tank, which will allow them to have more pressure, to have a backup if one goes out, etc. And they're working with the proper regulatory agency, which I apologize, it skips my mind right now.
So are the tenants correct that their water was being shut off, that the water was filled with sand, that this was
I have
happening?
no doubt that the water had been shut off in the past. In the last 6 to 8 weeks, and I apologize to anyone out there, we did not get a report from anyone that's been shut off, nor if we independently verified that with the repair technician, that it had been shut off.
All right. You know, you guys can do it the way you want to do it, or you can do it the way I want to do
We're
it.
here to cooperate.
What I want is I want a mediator there. I want you working with these tenants. I want this resolved. I do not want families taking baths in dirty water. And I want the city to verify that that is no longer happening. If you decide to go to war with these folks, you are in the wrong city. Trust me on that. You are in the wrong city.
We have no intention to.
You cannot take hardworking families and not give them at least the bare minimum of what it takes to thrive in this community. What they're telling me is in the past they weren't getting that. It's going to take a while for you to rebuild their trust, but I suggest you do it. Because what I'm hearing here and what I'm seeing here, I find pretty appalling. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fix this.
May I ask a question? One more.
Sure. And
Regarding
you've got some
violations?
questions here.
We repaired the 4 very minor violations that were brought to us by the city within 48 to 72 hours. These are a letter from the city attorney stating that we cleared the violations. And that we are here to make this place a pleasant place. We have employees that live in the park. Annabelle herself lived in the park. I worked there many hours. We want this place to be a place that people want to come home to.
Good.
Is that water accurate? Is that the description of
I
that
have
water?
never gotten water from a tap like that. They all said themselves it came from a toilet tank, not the tap.
Have you seen water in your park like that?
No, we have not.
Have you seen it anywhere like that?
No.
So when you drain the pump and it goes down to the bottom of your storage tank, and then
We don't
started,
usually drain the tank.
then why was the water shut off?
We have a technician that would handle any of those repairs.
You know, I was outside with them, and they showed me lots of pictures of bathtubs filled with sand.
All we can say from our own experience is
Okay,
that we have not seen it.
What you have to say from your own experience is you're going to get together with your tenants, and you're going to fix this.
Yes.
And you're going to make them happy
Yes.
about what happened in the past.
Yes, if
Okay?
then
And
our
if you
town
do
will
that,
take whatever is
and-
possible motions to do.
And if you do that, you might have a profitable park. But if you don't, you won't. Fair enough?
Yes.
Thank you. Go ahead.
And thank you, Mayor. Annabelle and Karen, do you guys live there?
No, I used to live there.
Okay.
I don't.
So have you taken any baths there?
I used to when I used to live there.
Lately, have you taken any baths there? No. Have you drank any water from there lately?
I have.
Okay. My question is that when we don't physically live there, we don't really know what's going on daily. I think a suggestion would be, and I know that I will be one, to physically go to that location and see the water for ourselves.
Our on-site lives there.
I think that one of the things, if I may say, is that it's very offensive that we verbally are saying we will do what we can to make it comfortable, but we're seeing something different. So I'm a person of action, not words, and I'm looking forward to seeing the actions to make it a comfortable living environment for these well-deserved, hard-working individuals. So I'm very, very much looking forward to the action that will be taken. For us to ask these residents to take care of their environment so that we can live in a beautiful mobile home is offensive when you're not even taking care of what needs to be taken care of for them to drink water. So let's take care of what we are responsible for first before we even ask them to take care of what they need to take care of. How are they to clean their yards when they don't even have clean water to clean their yards? So let's take care of them first before we ask them to take care of things that are in our property. Okay?
We look
Okay.
forward to working with the council. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Boy, that hurt, didn't it? Okay, we need those cards back. Cesar. Okay, we got them. Okay, good. All right. I want it to be cooperative at this point, and I want that mediator over there. And let's get this resolved. All right. It would go a long ways if you gave the kids back the playground. Just a suggestion. Okay. All right, let's get back on the agenda. Where did it go? Where'd Cesar go? He's going to be mayor someday.
This is for my purposes. I'm not sure the council is much more knowledgeable on this, but who can the tenants take the utility complaints in terms of pricing? What is appropriate agencies in the city, or is it the...
I can't hear you.
I know we finished with this topic, Mayor, and just for my information, because one of the tenants just did hand me one of the bills that shows a $190 gas charge. Who can they then refer these charges to on a regular basis?
The city attorney is going to get a mediator down there, and so we're going to have somebody on site to deal with it and get communication going back and forth. We'll get completion dates as to when the storage tank and everything's going to be completed. I mean, when you don't have a completion date, it's just a promise in the sky.
Absolutely.
So we'll have that done, and then Jocelyn will be the city attorney that will be working with the mediator as to any past issues, and as to the 14 and 7-day notices, that needs to be dealt with immediately. And I mean, that is just dumb. All right.
Thank you so much, Council.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, Mayor.
Thank you.
Okay. You guys want to keep going, or you want to take a break? Keep going? Okay.
Thanks.
All right. ND1. Any speaker cards? 2. Okay. Mr. Lawson.
Mayor and Council, we previewed this at the last council meeting, so we'll be brief. We know you have a full agenda. We're here tonight asking an approval for a property exchange agreement between the Lancaster School District and the City of Lancaster. The exchange will be for a leasehold interest the school district had in the warehouse site out at the city yard. We have a need for that now. We have a traction seal company that will be producing traction seal there, which is a good deal for the city. And the exchange involves the property that we got in an exchange, which is the former Hallie Olson mortuary at Date and Milling Avenue. This property, when it was appraised, came in at $126,000 more than the leasehold interest that the district had out at the yard. And to make that even, Steven, we've gone ahead and negotiated a contract, or I should say Rhonda Perez from the Parks Department has done that will give us additional access to more gymnasiums. And this is an example of that. That's the gymnasium at New Vista. The Parks has a need for more gymnasium space because they have a number of industrial basketball leagues that are interested in using those gyms, and the district is willing to do that. We're here for questions, Rhonda certainly, and we also have the superintendent, Michelle Bowers, who's done a great job in this agreement, and then the assistant superintendent of business services, Leona Smith. It's been a pleasure dealing with them, and it's something that I think works well for everybody, and we'd recommend that you approve it.
Thank you. So what about that warehouse that we're going to...
What about the warehouse that, the 1920s warehouse?
Well,
you know what I'm talking about, right, Michelle? I was hoping we could kind of put the two deals together. All right. Okay. Never mind.
No, we hear what you're saying.
Okay, good.
I understand.
Thank you. All right, Michael Reeves.
Mayor Perez, council, staff, ladies and gentlemen. I was reading in the paper the other day about this proposal for the property swap, and in the article, if I'm correct, the representative of the school district was gloating that the property that's going to be swapped was $126,000 more than the one that they were giving up. And, it says in here on the agenda that the agreement will terminate a lease. I'm wondering when the lease would terminate anyway. I mean, when is the lease going to terminate? Can we get the property at the termination of the lease and not have to give up? I'm very reluctant to give up something like that at $126,000. If you look ahead in the future also, that property could be utilized to revitalize downtown. We're giving it up in exchange for the right to use a gym. We can use the gym anyway. We have parks here with basketball courts. As a citizen, I want to even trade. I don't want someone to get $126,000 more of our money for something that is intangible, like the right to use a gym. So I think we ought to go back to the drawing board. And one more point. You know my feelings about Equal Star and their so-called way you fix the street. I've spoken against that many times. That outfit should be paying us money. We should not be paying them. We should not be making accommodations for them. Thank you very much.
Why? Okay, go ahead.
I think they need to be addressed. It's a 99-year lease, so we couldn't outlive that. We have a need for that property and where it's at because it's in our maintenance yard. So the property has to be used, and they were kind enough to work with us. So when you have two entities that are tax-based entities, so it's all coming from the same pot, Michael, that I think the school district worked with us well on this in order for us to get this deal. So I think it's a great deal for both people.
And just an add to that, I think we all have a vested responsibility to take care of these schools, whether we're city council members or we're citizens. And I suspect the net gain on EchoStar will far outweigh that 99-year lease and that 126 if we do the math on it. So, but again, I want to make sure that people understand that we have a responsibility to make sure we take care of schools here, specifically in Lancaster, and if not in the Antelope Valley. That's our future.
Okay, we good? Thanks. Maria Pezzano?
Well, I have a problem with this as far as with the Lancaster School District when the people that run the Lancaster School District, superintendents, also have other businesses associated with schools, like the Daystar Foundation that Mrs. Bowers runs. Also, which, I want to know what funding from the schools goes to that foundation as well. Also, what else was I wanting to say about that? Well, there's a lot of things I want to say about that. But people that sit on the commissions would, like the agricultural, the architectural design commission also would have a stake in that. I would think, by decisions that they make, if they are also have their own private foundations or their own private schools, and run the school district and getting funding for that, where does that money go? Does it go for their particular foundations? Does it go for, there's a lot of things that with my time constraints that I'd like to talk about with that. That these things never get, talk about assessments and things, and audits and things that they never get, that they're instead put on the single person. Sorry, that's about it. And also with this mortuary property, when I was teaching in one of the school districts, they actually had a paper saying that they were going to use one of the school districts for a morgue, which really upsets me after I read this, telling us where the toe tags, where the body bags would be, and things like that. This is when I worked for Lancaster School District, by the way. People don't believe that, but I have the paperwork on that. Also, with, like I said, back in 2006, what should have been audits on certain school districts weren't. Instead, they were on the individual, like teachers, because I know I was audited in that year as well. So, I think that there should be some kind of something done, an audit or something done to find out where the money is going, if it's actually going for Lancaster School District or if it's going for these private schools. And not just for that, on the whole commission. I would also like to know why the Agricultural Commission never has any, they always are canceling their dates. They never have any of the minutes ever listed, ever. And why that is, that seems a little odd to me. Other people that are on that commission also are in charge of like auction sites, to other social service committees, things like that I think should all be checked into as to where all the funding is going, what money they're getting, and how it's being spent.
Thank you. All right, which one of you guys started an agricultural commission without telling me?
Are we doing that now?
Motion to approve NB1.
I'll second that motion.
Well, if I may, before we vote on that, I think we just need to say as council, as the city of Lancaster, we truly are about pro-education. And as our councilmember Mann said, that is our priority. And being in the educational industry, we have to have audits every year, right, Ms. Bowers? Every year by the Department of Education. To make accusations that fundings are going anywhere else but to the children is insulting. But we as a city are very proud, and we will continue to support education and our children of our community. Thank you.
Got a motion and a second? Let's vote. It's unanimous. Okay, the Lancaster Youth Commission. Thank you. Do we have any speaker cards on that?
No. But they're here.
I know they're here. So which one of you guys are doing the speech?
They all point to each other.
Let's have Creed do it. He's been here for 3 years.
Maybe each one should do like 3 minutes or something.
Wow, did you see that look of contempt?
They're very serious.
Yes.
Good evening, Mayor Paris, Vice Mayor Chris, and Council. Before you tonight is a recommendation to nominate and appoint the 2014-15 Youth Commission. Created in 1992, this was created to actually give the youth in our community a voice in our local government. A couple years ago, they went from just having a voice to actually creating action at your recommendation. And in the 2012-13 year, they created the Lancaster Lunchbox Program. And in the 13-14 year, they actually implemented that program, which is still in use today. And what that does is that that provides meals to disadvantaged low-income children in our valley over the course of a weekend who may not otherwise have access to a healthy meal in some of our local schools. So that's some of the change that they're making, and we look forward to this group to do that, something similar or something completely different. It's up to them in this next year. So before you tonight is the recommendation to appoint them for the 14-15 school year.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Do you want to make it?
Well, I nominate, don't I? So I'll nominate and appoint Karen Ventura, Elizabeth Maymound. Did I get that right?
Almost.
Best I could do. Okay. Bobby Barca? You know, I need a phonetic guide for this from now on. Connor McCormick, Mariah Mitchell, Jamie Sanchez, Creed Broadwater to the 2014 through 2015 Lancaster Youth Commission. You guys are going to have a great time.
I'll second that.
So let's vote. It's unanimous. Okay, you're in.
Would you like
Thank you. Oh, yeah. You want a picture?
Well, they got off pretty easy with no speech. They need to make sure that they come back. They need to give us.
Stay there, we have a lot of friends and families.
It's Jason saying.
Is it in before?
Yes.
Okay.
That would be Melissa. Where Melissa's right here. Okay. Okay, we're going to swear you in, so if you can raise your right hand. And then you state your name.
2 hours of sleep.
Do you solemnly swear to affirm that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that you take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge your duties upon which you are about to enter? Have one for each of you to sign, please. So, Creed and Elizabeth, Connor, Mariah, Bobby, Jamie.
Who's going to be the vice mayor?
Whoever loses.
Isn't he sharp tonight?
I was going to say that guy's got to be the smart one. That was good.
There you go. You just leave that there. Do you want this? No, you can have that. Thank you.
It'd be 3 Golf Guys, Inc. Now, we ought to have some speaker cards on this, right?
No, but I'd like to speak.
No speaker cards on this. You know how many times I've been eviscerated on Facebook because of that golf issue? 42 times this year, exactly. And now when we're actually going to do something about it, where are they?
Good evening again, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. I'm before you tonight recommending approval of an agreement between the City of Lancaster and Golf Guys, Inc., also known as Birdies, for the reestablishment of the Lancaster Golf Center. The Golf Center is an existing city facility that we are required to maintain. It has not been used in a number of years, and it has fallen into a state of disrepair. It is currently blighted, and it's a community eyesore that we hear a lot about on Facebook. And we also take a lot of calls into City Hall about that. We now have the opportunity to partner with an existing known entity that provides services in the city of Palmdale that we believe provides a win-win for the city of Lancaster as well as the community. But this endeavor is not just about redeveloping the golf center, it's also about economic development. Birdies has talked to us about the potential to employ at least 17 to 20 people in the reestablishment of this golf center. It will be a 9-hole par 3 golf center. It will not use the driving range, which is something that it used in the past. So it will provide the community with a new amenity. It will provide the community and the local businesses around there with a restaurant that will be able to be used morning and afternoon, 7 days a week, and something that's not currently available in that area. And also recreational opportunities for seniors and children that they agree to offer for those that are starting out, those that are interested in golf, and whatnot. I do understand that there is a concern, especially in our current climate, about water and water usage. We are pleased to report that with our current design, we anticipate mitigating water as much as possible. But we do use water. We use water in the park systems. Some of those are on wells. Some are, like Lancaster City Park, is on recycled water. So we will mitigate it and do the best we can to minimize the impact to water. The way the facility was designed in the past used approximately 90 acre-feet of water a year. With our current design plan, we will use approximately 25 acre-feet of water a year, which is approximately a 70% decrease in the amount of water consumed annually. We have removed a lot of the willows that are high consumption. We will replace all of that with xeriscaping. We will just primarily do the tee boxes and the greens in turf, and the rest will be dirt, sand, DG, what have you, in order to minimize the impact. So with that, I'm available for questions if you have any concerns.
I do.
Sure.
I agree with you. Something needs to be done. The problem that I have is that we're going to invest $300 and some thousand into this facility, and we don't know next year if the water's going to be shut off if we're able to water our front lawns next year. I'm having a problem with that concept.
I can understand the concern with water, like I said. We do have plans, hopefully, to get this on the recycled water sooner rather than later. It does run right down the front of the facility, fairly close, and Robert can comment a little bit more on that. But I think that something we should look at is the potential that when we have a business partner that's willing to enter into an agreement with us to open a facility that's 18 acres that's been sitting there vacant for 5 or 6 years, just falling into a state of disrepair, I think we jump on it. I think we have the opportunity to give the community something that, give them back something that they really enjoyed, with an additional amenity of a restaurant.
But we're supposed to be stewards of the public's money, so how much of this is going towards grass? How much of this is going towards that in a year we might lose?
Approximately 20% of the budget will be for turf.
Okay. And there's how many jobs?
Between 17 and 20.
Okay. I have to tell you, if it wasn't for the job component of it, I would vote no on this, because I would, like Greg said earlier, promise as far as the recycled water, but I think the jobs are what we need now, and but will you promise the council that you're going to make it a priority to get the recycled water there?
Absolutely. Always our priority.
Yeah. And that's 20%, so if I got it right, so that's about 60 to that just a year's worth of jobs would be a good trade for $60,000, I think. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. So why can't we have a completion date on the Purple Pipe Water?
We can get you one. We don't have one at this moment. Or we can get you one within 30 days when it's planned. We can get you...
Okay, good. Thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved.
A second.
Let's vote. It's unanimous. So, Marvin, you're going to learn to play golf?
Are you still taking lessons?
I am. Okay. NB4, we got any speaker cards?
We have 2.
Okay. Agreement for data manager services with Noble America's Energy Solutions.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Council, today staff is asking you to approve an agreement with Noble Energy Services, or Noble's America Energy Services, to provide data management services and customer care services for the Lancaster Choice Energy Program. As you know, we've been through this process a number of times, and a number of agreements have come before you, including with Edison. You've approved the implementation plan and submitted that to the PUC. This is the next step in the line of the formation and the creation of the Lancaster Choice Energy. As we mentioned, they're looking at 2 segments of the operation that we need to assistance from third-party vendors. Customer care and data management is one of those, and we've selected Noble Americas through a long interview process and kind of an exhaustive research for people who do this in this industry. Noble's America stood out head of heels above everybody else in the sense that they're the only one currently who provides CCA services, customer care and data service management services within California. They currently handle Marin and Sonoma County CCA programs. We will be the 3rd in the state, the 1st in Southern California Edison Territory, and so we look forward to this long-term partnership. They are here. We have Paul and Drake from Noble Americas to speak to you as well, and I would invite them up to come and have that conversation. Thank you.
Thank you. I was wondering why you guys were there. I thought maybe it was the FBI, you know.
Council, staff. Drake and I are thrilled to actually be here today and to meet the council. We've worked with staff over the course of the weeks to talk about your program. I think Jason took all of my thunder of, yes, we are the only service provider providing the services for data management services for CCAs here in California. We've also been involved in the ESP, or the retail sale of energy here in California for over 10 years, since when the deregulation of the industry started. So we're here thrilled to answer any questions that you might have. Again, when we say data management services, we can get into a whole lot of techie talk about billing and metering and electronic communication protocols, our relationships with the California ISO and the utilities. But I will stand here and just take the questions because I instead of just rambling, which I am.
A little bit.
Yeah.
We needed a PowerPoint.
You need I would be thrilled. We sent a package for you, for the council to actually take a look of what those data set services sort of include. And I think from the high points of, what we offer you as the city, in creating a CCA, there are certain protocols that one must pass within the utilities to actually do some communication. So it's the data communication protocols, it's the acquisition of data, the meter data that the utility does provide to the city, so we can actually take that data, put it into our systems, calc the rates, take those charges, send them to the utility so they can actually consolidate the bill. The phone service that we have, that we offer to the city.
When are you going to turn the switch on?
I don't know if they told me that they were not going to put the switch for this to start the low power. So sorry, Mayor. It is slated to start in May 1st.
Good. Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
How accurate is the data exchange going to be?
So the data protocols are through an EDI process, and the EDI protocols have been around. EDI, Electronic Data Interchange. The protocol's been around since probably since the 40s or the 50s. Southern California Edison and all the utilities actually in California use the same protocol and the same standard, both for the DA market and the CCA market. So this protocol has been used for probably the last 10 years. We've used it in the retail market on our side, so it's very accurate. In addition to the actual protocol, we have validation processes for that data. For the usage data specifically, we have a validation if the data is too high, too low from a meter usage perspective. We validate that the start dates and end dates don't overlap or if there are gaps. So we have all these protocols to ensure that not only the protocol is correct, but the data is actually correct as well.
And you're going to make sure that our customer service area has Spanish-speaking people?
Certainly. So the phone center that we have has Spanish-speaking agents. We also have translation services. So if you have other languages that you need supported, we have an actual selection of, I think, 17 different languages that we can use by bringing in a third-party translator on the call.
Okay. In May, our folks are going to pay less for electricity than all those other cities around us, right?
I have not seen the rates yet.
He's the data service guy.
As you know, Southern California Edison rates are similar all throughout Southern California Edison territory. Our anticipation is that the Lancaster Choice Energy Program, to be competitive, because it is an opt-out setting, will need to provide a product that is better than Edison. That can be
Jason,
better than number.
Listen to me. In May, our people are going to pay less for electricity than everybody else. Is that or is that not true?
That is our goal. We are looking at, and I'll be completely honest.
He waffled, didn't he?
No.
We waffled.
We will know. We will be able to give you a specific answer when we go out and bid the energy supply component of that bill. I'm completely honest that that is a market rate factor.
Of course you're completely honest. So why would you be anything other?
When we do that process, sir, I will be able to come back to you and say unequivocally that yes, we will be able to provide energy cheaper to our citizens. And in fact, to be successful, we have to provide the energy cheaper to our citizens. And that's the reality.
You know, there's a question I have, and I'm sure that the deputy mayor probably won't appreciate this. But in reading and trying to decipher the craziness that is going to take place, we surely aren't going to charge somebody more for energy when they use less, are we? I mean, that really just doesn't make any sense at all to me. When people are so, today, everybody is being diligent about being conservative, and then I read in the paper where, if I understand, Edison's product is going to be that way. I wouldn't want to sit up here and try to rationalize with the public as one of those people on the power authority. Just saying, because it makes no sense to me.
Right.
Just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Mark made a great point. At the end of the day, this city council sets the rates. So if your goal is to beat Edison's rates, at the end of the day, you will set the rates and you will make that determination.
Why didn't you tell me this a long time ago? Well,
Our answer then.
it's good in America. All right, thank you.
Any other questions?
No, I do have one question. Right,
Yes,
when we make phone calls, would we talk to a live person, or would this be a recording, or?
No, it's a live person.
Okay.
The current hours that we have proposed are 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., Monday through Friday.
Okay.
During the ramp-up period or during that enrollment period, it would be a 24-hour line.
Okay,
And you would
wonderful.
always speak to a live representative.
Wonderful.
So, one question. So obviously you're providing the services for the other two power authorities here in California. So who are you doing that for outside of California? Or did this become an offshoot of what you've done historically, buying power, and you got into managing this particular process? Help me understand that.
Yeah, that's correct. We're a large energy service provider selling to end-use customers, commercial and large industrial across the nation, covering 19 states. In California, we are the largest energy service provider in that space as well. When we went into the CCA business, we decided not to pursue that activity, but be more of a data manager and a services type of organization to help cities like yourself get off the ground.
Okay. All right, I got some confidence in them. If they've been here they're the largest, usually.
It's either going to be cheaper or not, and if it's not, you're going to have a problem. Fair enough?
And right now, just to say, as an energy service provider, the marketplace is significantly less than the tariff rates.
What's significant?
We'll go into that, but we'll leave that. There is what they call headroom across the United States right now versus all states and specific to California market as well.
You know, you should have figured out sitting there, this is a different city. How much different is it right now? What's the difference in cost?
Maybe you can touch on the customers you have in the retail sector and
just
typically
give
what
us
kind of
some
savings you guys
examples.
provide your
Yeah.
customers currently.
Just what you've experienced, not what you're saying you're going to do for our city, but what you've experienced.
Yeah, in the commercial space, we're seeing savings 5-10%. I think it's public too that Sonoma County is saving their residents 5% versus tariff rates, and it's a slightly higher, greener, renewable mix. So that's also public information. So there is some savings to be had. Obviously, it depends on your goals and whether those are economic or growth or green or all those things.
What about commercial repairs?
There is savings as well, correct.
More or less?
More or less than?
Than the 5%.
I don't know offhand. I apologize.
They didn't warn you?
One of the things, there's two things. One of them is that you will have the ability to set rates. And as Jason's explained...
Okay, let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay.
We should probably think about having a separate entity. What I don't want is rates to be a political process. I think rates have to be fundamentally an economic process that is geared to making the city thrive. We're not going to be up here all the time, and what I don't want to see is people running for office saying they're going to cut the electric bill in half and then bankrupt the CCA, right? So let's start working on that now. Before we turn the switch on, I want this to be something that improves the quality of life in Lancaster. I don't want it to be a problem down the road. All right?
Yeah, well understood, and we'll also have the ability...
I think we should approve it.
Well, we're going to approve this, but that's...
Well, I think that they should make a recommendation to the city council, and we should approve it.
Okay, well, let's deal with it down the road. But I want a proposal. All right? Good. Okay, good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, wasn't that fun? Okay, Maria Paisano? Yes, ma'am. Okay, hold on a second. Hold on. Let Maria speak, and then I'll have you come up, okay? Good.
Sorry. Anyway, I think the thing that bothered me about this was the agreement within 30 days that they can keep changing from company to company after so many days and not be liable for anything, for any damages or anything. The companies can just keep changing, and we keep hearing over and over that all these different electric companies or power companies are going to cut your electric bills in half and it's going to be cheaper and cheaper, which it never is. It seems like it just keeps going up and up for certain people. Now, when I came here to speak on what was going on in the mobile home parks or whatever, and I was talking about how expensive the electric and gas bills were, I was told that that's up to the investors, that that's none of our business, that we can't even, couldn't even speak on it, that that's just the way it was. And there was a lot of problems with the reasons why, I think, like I was stating, why those bills had gone up, because of the cleanup situation, because of, what the cost that would cost, so people were actually paying for that. And like I said, that would change for all these different companies, which, started around 2005 with the beginning of Topco and KB Homes and all that. But this thing where, every 30 days, too, they can change to a different service or a different provider and not be liable with the LLC companies, I think is a concern. And like I said, being that, we weren't able back then, this was so many years ago, to say anything about these companies and the damages that it was causing. There was a lot of sick people also in these parks, and nothing was ever done about that then, and why it was, and what was the cleanup project or something I wanted to talk about with this too, I believe. I'm not sure if it was this particular issue, but that is also hurting people, the chloride in the water also, which is another issue that costs money. Let's see. And then on this, within 30 days, it also talks about the transfer, that it can transfer all your information to another company. And I'll talk about the rest later.
Thank you. Robert Teller?
Mayor Parrish, City Council, my name's Robert Teller. I'm a small business operator in this area. I've been here since '89. I know what it takes to start a small business. I started with $500 in my pocket, and I've been here since '89 working the same business. I would like to ask, when did the city get a vote on this? Did it go to the ballot?
No, nor will it.
Why?
It's not how it works.
Is it not our taxpayer money that's being spent on it?
Well, we spend taxpayer money every day. I mean, that's why you elected us. But in answer to your question, all the businesses will have the opportunity to opt out if they want to opt out, or opt in if they want to opt in. I couldn't imagine why anybody would want to opt out.
Do you think Cal Edison is going to give up all of this kind of money to allow this city to do this?
Do you have any idea how much California Edison has given up? And never mind.
That's what I'm asking.
No, I don't think they have a choice. I think that the legislature has passed a bill that has empowered us to do this, and if Edison had a choice, they wouldn't do it. There's no way in
they wouldn't let more that kind of revenue, would they?
No way they would do it.
Yeah.
But the legislature has said you don't have a choice. If a community wants to take advantage of this legislation, they can. And we're just out on the forefront of it. There's only one other area that has. We're the second. And we're doing a lot of that stuff now. But I'm tired of the economic conditions of this city being left up to public utilities.
Yeah, well, I pay $360 a month electric bill at my place, so I know what the electric bills are.
It's going to be less.
And
in June, if you don't opt out, it'll be less.
Well, my problem is I just read the paper today, and you're going to spend $1.1 million to have an outfit send the bills out, and that seems to be sent down to San Diego. Did you ever try to get a hold of SoCal Edison?
Well, Southern California Edison doesn't report to me. These folks will. Okay. And I think you've recognized that we require people to be accountable to us.
Okay, but they report to you. But I'm asking about the service that we would get. We don't seem to get much from SoCal Edison. I can't see another entity being any better.
So we don't know. Mr. Teller, let me ask you something. How amenable do you think we would be if folks started coming up to that podium and telling us that they weren't answering the phone? I mean, could you imagine the consequences of that?
But that's...
I mean, the fact of the matter is they are going to be responsive because we're going to make certain that they are. Right now, there's no accountability.
You're right, there is.
Okay? With this, what we will absolutely have is accountability. There isn't any question in my mind about that because they will be reporting to us. And I don't know, I mean, judge for yourself. We're not that easy to deal with. Ask the mobile home park.
I can vouch for that. I'm a small business, and they're not.
Okay.
But
Well, wait a minute, what do you mean by that? Has the city in some way let you down? Has the city in some way not helped you when you've asked them for help?
Well, let's put it this way. It didn't turn out the way that I tried to maneuver it.
Were they not responsive to you?
Oh, they were responsive, but
well, by
the time I got the answer, somebody else had already moved in, so.
Well, half the time they tell me no, and I'm the mayor.
Well, I can understand that. You're also an attorney, so if they say no, you can sue them. But anyway, my hope is that this will not end up just being another layer of small-town bureaucratic control.
Well, I certainly
I would
don't have
really
any
like to
intention
have
of that.
seen this, and I totally agree with getting the power the cheapest way possible. I agree with that, what you said. But I'd totally like to see this been on the ballot to see if the voters want it.
Well, the voters kind of knew it was all going to be different when they voted for us, didn't they?
They voted for you to represent them, but I'm not sure that, since I read what the vote was, I'm not sure that that's all of the people would like to say so.
Well, I'm sure it's not all of the people.
Yeah.
But I bet it's 76% of them.
Well.
Okay. Thanks. All right.
Motion to approve NB4.
I'll second that.
It's unanimous. Thank you.
We have no speaker cards.
No speaker cards, but I want to hear it anyway.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Mayor and City Council. I've been asked to give you an update on a program that was initially focused on LED lighting that is expanding into a more comprehensive program called Better Built Home. Before I start, I'd like to acknowledge the work of Randy Hall, Fabian Traciano, and Raj Mali of the Planning Commission, who, as members of a working group, put in a number of hours in study of this issue. Mr. Hall and Mr. Traciano, I believe, are in our audience this evening. So I'm going to give you a really quick report. The Planning Commission is looking for effective, environmental, smart solutions that show leadership. And they took the LED lighting ordinance proposal before the Planning Commission. Concerns were raised. At that time, they set up a working group to have a discussion. Included in a number of working group meetings was representatives from the BIA, AV Board of Trade, KB Home, Nexus, who's the manufacturer of gray water systems, and Stevens Construction. Out of that has been developed an approach called Better Built Homes. It's a bigger picture approach that we believe will be effective because it's a kind of program that mirrors what we did in solar. Where the city assisted the development of the home of the future, that led a major home builder to realize there is a market for solar homes, which led to more cost-effective solar installations, which ultimately resulted in a widely accepted solar mandate on all new homes. The Better Built Home program would incentivize important environmental elements such as water conservation, energy efficiency, and material recycling, hopefully paving the way for a net zero housing future developments. The program is voluntary, it is incentivized, and allows for a great deal of flexibility on the builder's part. It has gained the program works this way. Builders of new homes would be offered a 25% discount on city-imposed impact fees, waiver of rear yard landscaping requirements, and free recycled water for dust control. If their homes incorporate environmentally smart features, to qualify, the developer must select from a table of options accumulate a minimum number of points from at least 2 of 3 categories: water, energy, and environment. The Planning Commission will hear and discuss final details of this program in the upcoming November meeting. It's expected that the recommendations will be reported to the City Council in December. So I'd be happy to answer questions that you may have, but it's I think it's a program that you'll find a lot of support from the building industry, from our largest home builder, and people involved in that business.
All right, thank you. Any questions?
I'd like to bring up the 2 planning commissioners and, thank them. You guys have done a wonderful job on this. I mean, it works. So
I think it fits in with the mayor's vision of the city. He wants to leave a greener and cleaner planet to his kids to grow up in and his grandkids, and it's something we're all working for.
Are you putting in a energy efficiency inspection component?
Let's talk about that later, but right now we were trying to focus on this first step, and the next step would be energy audits and stuff like that we'll deal with in the future.
Okay.
Yeah, we have spoken to a company that do perform energy audits.
Okay.
Believe it or not.
I like the voluntary compliance aspect of it, sort of. I mean, I don't know why we shouldn't have both. You know what I mean? I mean, a carrot and a stick. It's not an option. I mean, in this city, we're going to build energy-efficient homes that aren't going to cost the homeowner a fortune in utility bills. But I like the direction you're going. All right.
Well, there's some scary stuff, too, that we're faced with in the future if we don't make these eventually mandatory. And that is we're actually faced in 2020, according to Tom DePrima of KB Homes, that we may have no drive days to cut down on the amount of pollution that we're putting into the air. So we only have a short window to get this to happen, and these are some very important first steps, and there's more to come.
Okay. I mean, I know how difficult it is to be a planning commissioner in the city, because what we're doing is we're reinventing it. Every other planning commission out there, they just have to stay within these guidelines that everybody else follows. But that's not what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you to redefine the guidelines, to redefine the rules. We are going to be the first net zero city in the world. But it's going to require a lot of effort on everybody's part to get there. And I appreciate what you're doing. I mean, you guys are doing an amazing job.
Well, we have the city staff that's backed us up. Here's Robert Neal and Heather Swan and Tim Zonga that really put in the time to make sure that this is comprehensive and well thought out.
We don't like to tell people that they're really the brains.
Okay, I'll learn that.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Good.
Move to approve NB5? Or did we? Yeah.
Second.
Let's vote. It's unanimous. Okay, moving on to council reports.
Mayor, I did speak on this subject the previous city council meeting. I did not bring my notes tonight, so I would do this off the top of my head. There was a movement from the accounting staff that were in that time period of remortgaging the bonds, and to their conclusionary results, they think it'll end up resulting in about a $25 million savings. And one of the things I left them with was to figure out how we can get that $25 million back into the citizens' pockets. So I know that we're moving fast on replenishing the reserves that we had drained down from historically the decisions that were made with the predecessors. So I would hope that sometime in 2015 they'll be able to come back with remortgage bonds and then start working diligently on figuring out at what point we can reverse the tide on the current taxing with citizens specifically here in Lancaster.
Okay.
So that's my goal.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else? I'll talk about the American Transportation Summit that we just went to in Texas. Would it be legal for me to say never to fly United Airlines?
If you don't, I'm going to.
Okay.
You guys are such babies.
Yeah. I'm not going there with him. BYD unveiled its bus, its first 60-foot articulating bus. The bus that was purchased by AVTA was there. It drove 1,500 miles to Texas, all on electricity. It was the only bus at the conference that drove itself there. All the other ones were shipped there by different facilities. We did have the opportunity to go look at the other electric buses. I am so happy that we did do that because we looked at different buses. The Proterra bus, they have the ability to go a whopping 40 miles, where our bus goes about 180 to 200 miles per charge. They explained the differences in them. Theirs is a composite build, but they can go 40 miles without a recharge. But BYD hired some Hollywood producers to show this up, and at the start of the thing, they had a cheesecake all the way around. They projected a time, and it was a countdown to the unveiling. There were some large dignitaries there, other than myself. The Chinese ambassador was there.
How much did he weigh?
See, I set him up. Softball. So there was some very important people there. We invited the head of the Metro Board to come to take a tour of BYD. They were very intrigued with the differences. They could see the differences. They could actually touch and feel the differences between the two buses. So it was very enlightening. Mr. Bozigan accompanied me there. It was a good time in Texas, all 2 hours.
They really did. They flew all night. They get there at 5 in the morning. They sleep a couple hours. Marvin drops the drape, gives his speech, and then gets back on a plane and comes back. I mean, it was a labor of love. It really was.
Well, actually, we went back to the airport and stayed another 10 hours there. So,
but he does whine a lot, I got to tell you.
That's what they elected me to do.
You wanted to say something, didn't you? Do you want to come down and use the mic so we can hear you? Yeah. Sit right here. Just move up a little bit, if you can.
Okay. Real quickly, it's just no big science here, but my main thing is, how can they not have rate structuring before they put this to a vote? I'm a business person. I had a plastic fabrication for over 30 years. And before I put a product in the market and sold it to the stores or wherever the market I sold it to, I had to have a price on my product. So that's why I don't understand how they did not establish a rate structure of what they're going to charge the customer. And then they have here...
Let me explain that, okay?
Okay.
I mean, why this is going to make sense.
Okay.
right now, Edison is guaranteed a profit. I mean, they're guaranteed, right?
Right.
And the rate is set at a pretty high level, regardless of what the power costs are. We're going to actually buy the power. We're going to sell it back, right? We're able to now negotiate rates. We're able to do all kinds of things that we're not able to do with Edison. And the experience of Marin has been their customers pay a lot less. Now, I guess it's possible that we would not be able to buy it cheaper than Edison, but I don't think so. And the reason for that is because of we're just more flexible. You know, we can deal with the spot market. We can do all kinds of stuff with this. Now, is it new? Is it different? Is it a little scary? Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. But what we know for certain now is if we stay with it the way it is, we're not going to be the winners, are we?
No, right.
You know, we're going to have to reach out, take some chances, and I'm pretty confident that we're going to see an incredible success with this. I'm looking at the possible risks, and I'm just not seeing them.
Well, I have a lot of confidence in you.
Thank you. And I got to tell you, these guys are really, really smart. Robert Neal is one of the smartest people I've ever met. He sits there and never says anything. And then he turns, he's like a magician, you know? He turns crap into gold. I've never seen anything like it.
Where have you been? I needed you when I was in business.
We got a really smart staff. Heather and Jason have turned themselves into energy experts in 2 years. It's amazing to me because I go to these conferences, and
I've been watching you on television.
Okay, and they go with me, and they're one of the smartest lights in the room. So, yeah, it's a little scary. I got it. Be a little scared because I guarantee you, to do nothing is going to be disaster.
Right. No. Okay. Well, I have confidence. Okay. It's just something that I had to speak up and say.
No, I think we should talk about the risks. I think we should talk about the fears. Sure. I wish you wouldn't interrupt me, but
someone had to. One of the major reasons that we'll be able to sell it under price of Edison is because of line loss. We won't have as much line loss because we can buy it from our solar plants.
She doesn't know what line loss is. You got to explain that. Well, some people don't. Maybe. Okay.
I was getting there, but you interrupted me.
He forgets I appointed him.
If they buy energy, say, from Nevada or Arizona, that line loss, they have about a 12% line loss of the energy that gets here. So we won't have as much line loss, if any, at all. So there's like a 12% from there to here. They have to buy 12% more energy than we do, so there's the amount of energy that we actually need. So the energy that is created in the Antelope Valley can be used in the Antelope Valley.
Okay, I understand that.
So
yeah.
Does that help?
I understand that.
Where's Heather? Why would Heather tell him that and not me? I just learned that. I didn't know that's why we were able to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as our mayor said, sure, it's scary. Anything that, when you think outside the box and you're trying to make history, as our mayor is leading us to do with, solar energy and electricity and all of that, it is scary. But that's when we make things happen. That's when we are the example for others on how to be proactive and not take it any longer. And for you to say you trust us with that, we appreciate it because we are going to a new world and we're going to make it happen and we're going to be that example.
And I'm going to be there to help you.
Wonderful.
And next month, we'll talk about how we're going to bring free Wi-Fi to the whole city. Maybe in 2 months. Okay, maybe 3 months. But seriously, what we're doing with power and electricity and streetlights, and nobody in the world's doing it. So it's an exciting time to be in Lancaster. Okay.
This doesn't go against
And
my...
Heather will tell Marvin how it works, and then Marvin will come to the council meeting and tell me.
Tell all of us.
Then we'll all get educated.
Right. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for listening to me.
Did you want to ask her if you can maintain the vote or if she was going to speak?
No, we shouldn't have a speaker vote, so we're good. Okay. All right. Moving on. Nothing on the Housing Authority, nothing on the Financing Authority, nothing on Power Authority, nothing on Successor Agency. City Manager, any announcements?
Well, in Marv's defense, he's had 8 hours sleep in the last 72, so he might be a little chippy.
I told you they whine a lot, didn't I?
I deserve that. Just a couple things. First, it was a really proud moment for the City of Lancaster. I'm not talking about the government of Lancaster, City of Lancaster, that at BYD, and we were there represented by Vice Mayor in the conference, there's a Lancaster bus that's the most technologically advanced articulated electric bus in the world, and that's something to be proud of. Built by Antelope Valley, designed in the Antelope Valley and built by Antelope Valley residents. So it was a big deal and went through a lot. And the Vice Mayor represented us exceptionally well and told the story of Lancaster in 1 minute and 57 seconds. They told him he had 2 minutes. He did it in 1 minute 57. It's very well done. Just two events I'd like to comment on. We had our Streets of Lancaster and Bark at the Park. We always talk about great execution of events, but that's not what really makes an event. It's like a caterer, someone going and saying that wedding was great because the caterer was fantastic. The wedding was great because it was excitement, community, and it creates memories. And if an event's done well, it does that. And both these events did that. You know, as goofy as it sounds, Bark at the Park, I mean, you know, our dog, one of our dogs is long gone, but our kids still remember taking that dog to Bark at the Park. That's their memory. And as even more goofy as it sounds, people hang their pictures of their dogs when they painted their tails on the canvas. It's a big deal, and I think that a lot of times we need to really focus as a community, and we thank the community for coming out. We thank staff that did the work, but thank the community for making the event. It was great. And with that, we have two videos, one on the Streets of Lancaster and then one on Bark at the Park.
And are we having the tail paintings at the museum? No.
That's a good idea.
It's really not bad, actually.
It's a great idea. Rhonda?
We're here at the 2014 Streets of Lancaster Grand Prix. This year we got even more sponsors, more races, and a whole lot of professional racing going on. Is this great or what? It's just a fabulous event, and you know, the city staff has done a wonderful job. But what's so good about it is it's really turned into an Antelope Valley event. Everybody comes. This is a good event for our valley. We couldn't cruise the boulevard before, now we're cruising it on go-karts. It was a lot of fun. This is a great weekend. 6 years ago, we got this wild idea to light these streets up, and it's still happening, man. Everybody loves it, and it gets a lot of nationwide exposure, so it's great for Lancaster, and Lancaster's the right place for it.
Working with these guys, it is family to me. I mean, I talk to these people all year, but to put the stuff together, what they do, I mean, look how sexy it is. People are just coming up to me, high-fiving me, and it's a win-win. I come in, costs a little money, but sponsors pays it, no tax money, and we actually bring money into the city. I mean, we impact $500,000-$600,000 worth of business for the local businesses, so it's huge.
To say nothing of the revenue the hospital gets. I'm not going to say it.
That's second.
Carmen Acosta here at the City of Lancaster at the 22nd Annual Bark in the Park. What's your favorite thing about the event? The concerts themselves and the parade and all that.
Thank you. Okay, City Clerk.
This is the time to address the City Council, agency, and authority on non-agendized matters. Please complete a speaker card, which can be found on the back table of the council chambers. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. State law prohibits the City Council from taking action on items not on the agenda, and your matter will be referred to the City Manager. Thank you.
Fran Circes. Saris. Okay, I'll remember that. Come on up. Oh, you're going to give me hell about the Metrolink, aren't you?
Pardon?
You're going to give me hell about the Metrolink, aren't you?
Well, not really. I'm not going to give you H-E-L-L. I'm going to try to give you some help. H-E-L-P.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, has anything been done about this situation? I think not.
You know, the only thing I can, I've racked my brain. The only thing I can think of other than closing it and moving it is that somehow somebody gets the county to put conductors on the train and take tickets like they have for 200 years. I mean, why all of a sudden they think they can run a train without somebody taking tickets is beyond me. I mean, that seems like an easy fix. But, getting the county to do something that is intelligent is really hard.
So what do we do? Where do we go? What do we do?
Well, we do have a board of supervisor that I think people should be calling his office.
Okay, when I spoke, Mark was kind enough and called me about the problem about, I don't know if you heard it, but I apologize that the last time I was here because the first time I came, I was not fully aware, prepared for what I was saying about the Metrolink. Mm-hmm. Now, the second time I came, and I came first to apologize to you, I apologized to Mr. Chris, and I also mentioned about the telephone call that I made to your office and didn't get... Anyway, Mr. Bosigian was nice enough to find out the problem. He called me and we talked about it. But he mentioned, because I had mentioned that I wanted to help in whichever way I could. And Mr. Bosigian mentioned about you might be getting a committee together. He would let me know when or whatever was going to happen. That's number one. Now, the next thing I wanted to know is, you have a bunch of churches that got together. What did they do? What did they accomplish for this situation?
Well, I think they accomplish a lot so far. They're the ones that are responsible for feeding the 7,000 homeless that we have now. So what we've done is they help pay for, along with the county and the city of Palmdale, help pay for the facilities at the fairgrounds in order to move them. They fed them every night, so they have taken a huge responsibility in this community, and we're very grateful for them for doing that. They would like to do it more on a permanent basis, and so they can be more organized.
Okay, real quickly, now, my thing is, instead of making this a big problem with the homeless, why can't we turn it around and make it more active by maybe putting together a training program for the ones that are homeless and need work? But since your BYD's coming in, companies coming in, and all these companies, new companies that are coming into Lancaster are going to need employees, and maybe we should get some kind of a educational or a learning program for some of these people to get on the program so they can get a job.
We are doing that. There's a facility that is located on J5 and Yucca right now. We talked to them in regards to, Mark, do you remember the gentleman's name?
It said James Lake AV Rescue Mission.
Yes, and so we talked to him about moving his facilities over to the new facilities wherever we locate those, and so we can have a job training component of that because he's well-versed in that currently. So we are thinking about that and are doing it and setting it up. If we're going to do this, we need to do it right.
Right, okay. Well, basically, everything in a nutshell, that kind of puts everything I wanted to say.
Okay.
But, like I said again, I do want to see what we can, my people are here to help. They
Thank
want
you.
to help me and help you, and maybe we could do something for these poor people instead of, putting them on we're not putting them on the wayside, but, give them a heads up somehow. Maybe that's what we need to do.
I don't have any doubt we could do incredible things with them if the county would give us our share of the
Well, that's the
funding.
thing, we have to get on the...
And what we need is 700 people to go down to the Board of Supervisors and well, make a lot of noise.
700 people?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what it would take.
That's all. But now what's going to happen now? A lot of the supervisors are leaving, and a lot of new ones are coming in. So where do we stand there?
And praise God for that.
Yeah.
I'm really hopeful that this new set of supervisors coming in will create a different world. And so far, when you look at who's coming in and who will probably get elected, they're very bright, and they're very experienced in different forms of government, and I'm very hopeful. It's maybe something will happen. Okay.
So when do you think this Metrolink is going to close or whatever?
Well, we're engaging all the citizens. Recently, we engaged the Boulevard Association. So we wanted to make sure that, and get what they were thinking. We wanted to get their thoughts. What's taking place down there? Is it, if we move it, how it will affect them? If we leave it, how it affects them now? So we wanted to get the input, and that's basically what we're trying to do. So we're meeting with the Boulevard Association, and we did receive this letter from the Boulevard Association, and this letter, it was just given me today, in fact, that they're in complete support of the City Council closing or moving the Metrolink station. So I see the Valley Press is sitting directly behind you. They're going to want a copy of this, and so they can report on it.
Or not. So, Allison, when can we decide?
When can we decide whether to close the Metrolink? We have
Like
to
it's hanging over everybody's head. I want a date. On this date, we're going to make a decision. When can that date be?
We have to put out our scoping notice for the environmental considerations, then we do the scoping meeting, and then we do the environmental analysis.
So give me a date.
Is Jocelyn Swain here? She's not.
Next meeting, give me a date.
Next meeting, I'll give you a date.
Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. One more thing. On the boulevard, I was driving down the boulevard, and those trees have to be trimmed because it's obstructing the view of the businesses.
Good
All
point.
the streets on the boulevard, I go in because I drive in this slow, and I'm checking everything out as I do every once in a while. And the trees, you can't see the marquees of the buildings.
We'll look into it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, next. Thank you.
Kevin Luke? Kevin Luke? Kurt Boyer? Kurt Boyer? Wally Melendez? Mr. Melendez, thank you for doing the prayer.
You're welcome, Mayor. Good evening, City Council, Mayor Perez, staff. Is it just me, or do I see dope pushers close to that elementary school over there on 5th Street East and J?
I told the Sheriff's Department to shoot him. I did.
Well, I have a gun, but I don't shoot anybody. Well, like I was saying, is it just me, or do I see dope pushers trying to socialize with students and non-students close to that area there, J and 5th Street East? And I believe there's a middle school a little bit north of there too. But I would say yes, and that's why I brought this up a lot of times about a police force for Lancaster, that we could have constables on patrol where they're needed. Of course, all due respect to the Sheriff's Department. And it seems to me like 50 miles an hour on some streets. Like, for example, there on I believe that is J Street. I live close to J Street, and I saw a sign there on one of those streets that's 50 miles per hour limit or allowed, and that seems kind of high for a city street. Now, some people cross the street, some people don't go to the crosswalks, and they cross the street where it's most convenient. A lot of people,
my wife tries to run him over.
A lot of people do that, and a lot of pedestrians do that. I'm a pedestrian. I sometimes do that. I confess a little bit, and I don't like cars to go real fast on streets. Of course, California is known. Well, I might as well admit it. I'm not from California. I'm from Texas, and I'm not going to say anything bad about California, okay?
You're probably just here recruiting our people to take their jobs there, aren't you?
On some streets, 50 miles per hour seems high, from my estimation. But I am concerned about dope pushers, and I am concerned about people using methamphetamine.
Thank you.
And because they create a lot of ruckus. At night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Because they can't sleep, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Seems logical to me. Maria Paisano?
I hope that I could come to you and this council today. This past year has really been brutal. Past month has even been more brutal. Well, I know it's been bad this last year. I've come before a lot of the committees and before the council before on issues when, I was being assaulted in my home. No one did anything about it. My kids were being hurt. No one did anything about it. My property was taken. Nobody did anything about it. All of our things were destroyed and ruined. Tried to bring pictures and show. No one would do anything about it. I wasn't even allowed to come up and make police reports because I was told that I'd be arrested if I did. on any kind of assaults that happened, on any kind of theft that happened, on anything that happened at all. Recently, as you know how I lost my house and everything in my house. They went through all my files, my paperwork, and broke all my pictures, things like that, in my storage units. I was told by, actually, the officer that arrested me when I came up here to try and speak. You weren't here, Mr. Barris, a couple weeks ago, when we should have heard a report on Proposition 46, too. That they was told by Mr. DeRico that if I showed up at any of the meetings that I would be arrested. My truck was taken again here recently. I was having problems with the homeless. I would say that it's the social service departments through the homeless people who claim to come and help you, and well, instead there was phone calls being made saying that I was trying to kill myself and things like this, where I was staying under this tree, to get me to come out to from where I was at in my truck to drive. My daughter had been missing. She had been assaulted, and I was upset over that. My dog was like in bad shape, and I was trying to get water for her. I had drove out to meet with the police officers because the city and the police, the phone calls were coming through the city, okay? But it was like the police were also calling saying that I had to meet them out, not from where I was. So when I went out there to go meet the police officer, when he came up to where I was staying, please can it let me finish, please? Because my truck has been taken under fraudulent pretenses, okay? It should not have been taken. My driver's license was stolen from me. When they came to take my truck that day, I thought they were coming to speak to me about the problems that were going on and why I was where I was at under that tree, and how people were coming, stealing things, stealing mail from around there, trying to put all this stuff on me. The social services departments were also working with the police department under the 2002...
There's nothing we can do for you in this forum. This is not the place to come.
Where is the place to come? I can't go to the police department and make police reports because they call me while I'm standing in the police department and say, if you say anything, you're going to jail.
Maria, this is not the place for you to come and do this.
I mean, living on the street, I have not my vehicle because the social services department already put in for to take it.
There is nothing I can do for you. Nothing. I know how painful it is for you to come up and do this. I'm sorry, Maria, there's nothing I can do for you. This is what I get every time I come up here. Why is that? Because this is not the type of business we do here.
God. No, these businesses that take and steal and rob aren't
stop.
any concern to anybody, that you aren't going to do anything about it?
Stop. Go sit down. Go sit down.
Again, right?
Go sit down. Okay. We should go to closed session, but the vice mayor would like to do it in open session, and I agree with him. But I will yield to council's suggestions. On the closed session, why can't we do it out in public?
I have several items for closed session.
I think he wants to do the Justice Department.
Department of Justice.
Yeah.
I am in open session.
I can't flip him around?
You can do the Justice, you can call him...
Well, you know what I call him in closed session.
You want me to report to you on the Department of Justice in open session?
Do you see a problem with it? I mean, let's put it out there.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, then we won't do it.
Yeah, it hurts us with strategy, sorry. We can report out, though.
No, he wants me to do it so that the feds will be tapping my phone instead of his.
I'm sure that's already happened.
I'm reasonably sure it's already happened, too. Why do you think I bought the Apple 6? No, they can't... They can't
get any information.
All right. You know, before we do go, the vice mayor did go to Texas and do that, But think about that for a second. This is a world-changing bus. I mean, it's not just any bus. This bus can go all the way to L.A. and all the way back on one charge. I mean, that's incredibly huge. And BYD asked us to unveil it. You know, that gives you an indication of the level of partnership there. Rather than the president of the company pulling the curtain and announcing it to the world, they asked the city of Lancaster to do it. I'm really proud of that. I think it says something about our ability to partnership with companies and how they appreciate how it came about. That bus was designed, built, and developed all in Lancaster in 6 months. In 6 months. The merging the Chinese and American manufacturing together was the smartest thing we've seen happen in a long time. Before they ever opened the factory, Bill Rex was able to change the whole way they produce them at an incredible savings. It's actually cheaper to build that bus here than it would have been to build that bus in China under the old methodology. Well, now with the new methodology, it changes, but they actually had a net increase in profitability by building it here. It's something we're really proud of, and thank you for going and doing that.
I appreciate doing it, and they did set a world record with the BYD bus in the city. They went 775 miles in a 24-hour period. So I thought that was great. So we have a world record with it, too.
Tesla's got nothing on us. All right. The City Council will now move to closed session to discuss closed session items 1 through 10. With regard to closed session item number 3 of the employee negotiations matter, the City Council will meet with its designated representatives, Mark Bogazigian and Beverly, how do you say Beverly's last name? Glode, to discuss the matters listed on the agenda. Then we'll be back.
Something about Edison was supposed to tack on $10 to everybody's bill, but I guess now something else is going on with that.
No,
some new. I mean, it's cool. It's pretty clear about some new thing you guys got going on. It's gonna happen. We could use some lights going out towards Lake Los Angeles for the streets. How that officer, someone got killed the other day, ran into the police officer's car. There's no lights out there on the roads.
Where was that? Do we know?
Yeah, it's out that way.
It's county, yeah.
Yeah, we need some lights, some street lights.
We can't do anything in. We can't do anything in the county. That's the county section. It's not Lancaster. The Board of Supervisors control all of that.
For Lake Los Angeles?
Anything outside the city limits, and Lake Los Angeles, I believe, is outside the city limits.
But it comes up Lancaster 935.
Yeah, I know that's how it's listed in the post office, but we don't have any authority out there.
So it's
L.A.?
LA County.
Yeah. Maybe you call Mike Antonovich's office. That's who deals with it.
Is that right?
Yeah. They just give us the rap.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, the other day, I was driving westbound on Avenue O, and it was a sheriff going eastbound, passing each other like this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was going 55. And it was
Avenue O is Palmdale, you know. It would not be a Lancaster sheriff officer. It would be the Palmdale Sheriff's Department. LA Sheriff's Department in Palmdale. Yeah.
Highway Patrol or something like
Yeah.
that.
But that's all Palmdale. See, actually, Lancaster is really the place you want to be. But you're on the fringe outside the city limits, and things go to hell.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, really. It really is a different place.
90th there? 90th?
What?
90th and O?
Yeah, that'd be Palmdale.
What's Palmdale?
Yeah.
Palmdale already unincorporated.
Unincorporated? Yeah.
I think it's still Palmdale to 90th. Yeah.
When you cross Avenue M going north, you are coming into civilization. I'm serious. When you go south, something else. I mean, it's not that it's uncivilized, but it's not Lancaster, right?
Okay. All right, thanks.
Okay, thank you. Where's my notes? All right. Now watch Facebook light up tomorrow with that, huh? What?
Oh, my gosh.
Well, look, it's either factual or it's not. It's either accurate or it's not, right? I mean, in Lancaster, businesses come and actually open factories, right? Okay. All right. The City Council meeting is adjourned until Tuesday, October 28th, 2014 at 5 p.m. We're out of here.